What's going on, everybody? Judd here with Asphalt Kingdom, and I am so excited to be able to be here with Anthony and Stephanie Byson from Dexter, Michigan. Anthony's Asphalt. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here with us, man.
Thank you so much for having us on Asphalt Kingdom, and thank you so much to you personally, Judd.
Man, this is so much fun. And I know we were just, sometimes in life when you're faced with adversity and challenge, you figure out what you need to do to solve the challenge. And here we are. We just solved a little bit of a technical challenge. And you know what? This is so much better. If you think about it, what we just went through right there in a short period of time to get to where we are now, and to have your beautiful wife, Stephanie, sitting there on your lap with your truck in the background and everything. I mean, this is exactly what I was hoping would happen. And this is unfolding. So, you know how it goes. We take that golden paintbrush, we dip it in the paint, and we paint it. So here we are painting. And for all of you watching right now, I really hope that this session together, this freestyle session, really inspires you and helps you through your journey. And know that you don't need to feel alone, because we're right here and we're going to jam together. Guys, wow, this is awesome. Okay, so Anthony's Asphalt, let's go ahead and just take us back, like big rewind back to when you first started out, because I want everybody to hear this story.
I was lucky enough to be friends with someone that started an asphalt maintenance company in 1960. He had a son late in life that I was schoolmates with. And in 2005, he asked me to help manage that company for his father. I fell in love with the industry and the hard work. I managed a crew of people my first year, and we did some really big jobs. The son eventually wanted to sell the business, and I was able to start my own company in 2009. So Stephanie and we started with a legit $700 F-150. I paid $700 cash for it. 2 55-gallon drums. I filled up the drums full of sealer. I got back to the house, and Stephanie asked me, "How are you going to get the sealer onto the driveway?" And I said, "We have a Kool-Aid pitcher up in the cabinet. Go get the Kool-Aid pitcher." So our first weekend, we went out and we were dipping a Kool-Aid pitcher into the sealer, filling up a 5-gallon bucket, and running to the driveway with them. I don't suggest you always start that bare bones if you don't have to, but just know that where there's a will, there's a way, man. And like through our dedication together as a partnership and what we knew we could grow into, we were able to build it into, this is like our 15th year, and this is exactly what we do for our family to support our family and grow as individuals.
So that brings me to the next part of the question, which is really, what were the key challenges that you ended up facing, and that, really kind of put a real solid barrier between you moving into the next stage of your growth? What were some of those major challenges early on with your business?
Do you have anything in mind that you want to say?
No, I think you should take this one.
So the first barrier was resources, and we were able to bootstrap it together. We bought our first measuring wheel. We did everything we could. So outside of the financial thing that I think is going to be a commonality for a lot of people is a lack of vision. I didn't have the vision that I needed in order to scale really quickly. I didn't have anyone that I could lean on for advice or as a mentor that pulled me into a big circle of I completed my first season over and over and over and over again without knowing that I could elevate, and I didn't have anyone there to push me. So I think that would be the biggest struggle that I had was lack of mentorship and an advisor, right?
That right there, what you just said, really resonates with me. And I know it resonates with a lot of people who are stuck. I call that being stuck. When you're on a hamster wheel and you're just rolling inside that wheel, and there's just that, you're just looking ahead and doing the same thing over and over and over again. You know, I call it stacking the envelopes with cash so that when you hit the winter, you have just enough, and you usually run out before the spring hits. And those years are some of the most tough years ever. And that's where, you know, a lot of question comes into your mind as to whether or not this is something that I should continue doing or not, right? It's like, should we look at something different? And that's where doubt starts to set in. And that's where belief and conviction start to fade. But yet there's a pivot point. There's an opportunity to pivot huge and adjust, not a whole lot, just to adjust the mindset. And all of a sudden, you believe with conviction that growth and scaling is possible. So I have a question for you, Stephanie. When Anthony would come home, because you were more at home office, right? Is that right?
Not in the beginning. In the beginning, I was with him out in the field every single day. But now, yes, I run things more behind the scenes.
So you saw what it was like to go out there and make a bunch of money one day and stack your pockets filled with cash. And then you saw what it was like. You lived it when you go into the winter months and you're scared about how you're going to make ends meet. Yes or no?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I was there over and over again until finally I had the breakout moment in realizing that there's stuff that's larger than just doing small driveways or medium-sized driveways. And so I have a question for you. What was it like for you to be working with your husband out in the field during that time and go through that kind of challenge? How was that difficult for you?
Yeah, at times, for sure. I mean, I think that we make a great team. We're great partners in life and in business. We've, I think, proven that for 15 years to ourselves, but definitely hard days for sure. Felt in over our heads sometimes in the beginning, but we always pulled through for sure. So yeah, I mean, it's very difficult. It's terrifying, you know, because it's all the responsibility of that is on you, you know, when you're self-employed and have a business. So
what do you love most about Anthony in the business from a mindset perspective? What do you love most about him?
Well, I told him recently that I'm getting to know a new human being in this man. So I'm learning to know him all over again because his mindset has completely shifted. Where just a short time ago, I mean, I feel like business ownership and especially the asphalt industry, you can feel very alone, especially if you stay within your small community, right? There's like this competition. So nobody really wants this brotherhood. But then we discovered you and Asphalt Kingdom, and it has totally shifted his mindset, my mindset. And yeah, I mean, leads over from business and leadership into his life as a husband, as a father, and that is beautiful to me. So
it sounds, I don't want to even say corny because it's not corny, but it sounds like I'm placing this in here as like AdWords. But honestly, the missing ingredient in my life was the community and the brotherhood that Asphalt Kingdom has brought to me. So like, it was legit God's plan to open up a seat for me to be able to go to the AK spring training and have the ability to be immersed in this culture and in this community has 100% changed my life. I mean, I was a seasoned veteran that thought there was no other way. For the last 2 seasons, Stephanie knows this, I contemplated so many different times of how to give up. But I was too proud to give up. So I thank God and I thank you, Judd, for the ability to be able to find a way out of the quagmire that I was stuck in without giving up and without disappointing myself and my wife. Like legit people that are watching this, your life will be absolutely changed. Like I'm a living, breathing example of the fact that this community is different than anything else that exists in the industry or ever has. Like this is complete and utter life-changing material. Like reach out to me. Like I'll speak to you about it directly if anyone has any questions or has any doubts, just give it to me.
And as a partner that didn't absolutely experience what he experienced in the training and is not always like super involved with roundtable and stuff because I'm doing other things, I'm still experiencing it. So it has fully 100% changed our lives, because there were times in the off season where we contemplated other things, where now I feel like our eyes have been so opened and focused on we're going off. We're, you know, like it's totally different perspective. So, yeah, it's incredible. I'm excited for what's to come for sure.
This moment for me, and I hope for anybody that watches this, like the whole mission here is to work together to be able to inspire each other and build a better and brighter future. And when you can build that circle and you can nurture it and have that push-pull relationship and really work on it, no different than going to the gym and working out, you know, your muscles and going for that workout, or listening to audiobooks and stimulating your mind and growing. Growth is relationships. Nurturing is even more opportunity for growth, right? Asking each other hard questions, diving into the stuff that's not easy and working through it, rather than maybe just throwing up your phone in front of you and blocking out what it is that you truly should be focusing on. And it's like hearing you guys say that, I'm going to tell you something, guys. And I'm talking about everybody right now. Asphalt Kingdom changed my life forever. The round table changed my life forever. I deal with my personal struggles and challenges that I deal with. And being alone, lost in the woods for me is a hard thing. It's not easy. And so being a part of that meeting rhythm that comes, and having the community that I can go on social media to stamp something in there to inspire somebody, and somebody else do the same that inspires me, like Anthony posts on social, and it inspires me. That makes my day better. And so for you guys watching, like, we hope that this inspires you to make a decision to connect. Don't stay lost in the woods or in the fog, because you don't need to be there. You can reach out and communicate. Guys, I have another question for you. So leadership is something that is so important. There's the leader that stands on a balcony and cracks a whip down on their people. And I won't call it their people, because it almost sounds like slavery, if you know what I mean, right? Like that kind of leadership with a whip cracking, that to me is a very tough thing to wrap my mind around, because I don't lead that way. And I know you guys don't. And so I'm interested in hearing about how your turning point, where was the turning point, and what really instigated that turning point of knowing that you had to step into a much more significant leadership role for your people in your company. Obviously family, you've done that together, but with business, what was that turning point, and what was the significant leadership thought that you went into when you started to believe it?
I just want to say that I think, going back to perspective, I think like being a part of the calls and a team, Asphalt has become our life, right? Like and we've led from that in the past. Like it's all about Asphalt, but it's really about so much more than that. And I think that my eyes personally have been open to, yes, Asphalt is our life, but it's really about so much more than just Asphalt. And I think that that's like a huge turning point in our leadership this year with our team, is that he specifically is leading from a totally different vantage point. It's not just about Asphalt. It's about so much more. It's about the person, the individual that is on our team. And we're pouring into that more this season than we ever have been in the past.
And I would say that I read a book that said that as soon as you identify the problem of being outside of yourself, that is the problem, right? And so when I adopted that, and I realized, like, I used to think like all these guys are horrible employees, right? Like these guys, they just don't want to commit to doing things the way that I want them to do it. Then I realized that I had failed them by communicating really well to them what my expectations were and what the desired outcome was. And when I realized that it was in me to change it, I was able to change it. But until you realize that and you don't have that, you lack that self-awareness, that's what holds you up from progress, because you're not able to do the actual cause of the issue. So like now, when I know that I haven't communicated well and it's not going well, I don't say like, oh gosh, this guy's behind the ball in some way. I say like, oh, I needed to dial that in a little bit. Let me make sure that you understand clearly what my desired outcome is. And then I leave it up to them to figure out the steps to get to that desired outcome. I don't need to micromanage every step of them to get them to hold the brush the exact way that I want, or to clean something the exact way that I want. Like to find the desired outcome is enough information for them to be able to get to it, rather than feeling like you have to tell someone how to put one foot in front of the other.
Wow. Yeah, it's such an incredible thing to be able to lead by example, to be able to instill core values and culture within your company, and to be able to share what that means, to essentially teach, right? To teach your team, the team, your business family about what that all is and what that means, and to have them believe that with conviction and then instill that in their own personal lives as well. I mean, that is so incredible, and that's pay it forward, right? So when we learn about all this stuff, it's about paying it forward to our people, to the people, and to have them share that more, because that kind of a spread changes the world, right? And I think that that's such an important thing, man, is to lead by example and to really, really instill what it is that you believe in is the most important thing, right? And I have a question for Stephanie. And I got your email, by the way. Thank you for sending it. I love the idea, and I've already spoken with Amy about it, and she loves this idea. So you'll meet Amy actually down here as well. But what is it like now to be kind of, in the office, and Anthony operations in the field leading, and you back in the office? What is it like to be a really supportive partner for a man that's out there, cutting it through thick and thin, so to speak? I see his hands are working hands, right? And what is it like to be that partner and that wife for a man that works so hard?
I love it.
You do. And it's a twofold question, because you love it. I'd like to hear more about that, but I'd also like to, if there's other women out there right now that are, that have a husband that's maybe wanting to get into a business, or, is in the business a year or two in, I'm interested in knowing what advice you'd have for them as well.
You mean like a wife that is being support, in the business, or not working in the business?
So let's imagine that Anthony is just starting out in the business, and it's his dream to start his own business, small business. And, you're in the position of being at home with the kids and supporting the dream or not supporting the dream. What would be your best advice to somebody who might be in that position? What would that be like?
Yeah. Patience is definitely required, because it requires a lot of time, especially when you're first starting up. And yeah, I don't know. This was something that was his dream. I knew nothing about asphalt going into it when we first started, but I just believed in him, and I just was right by his side, for all of it. It was very terrifying and very scary. So, there will be some terrifying times and scary times and a lot of learning curves, for sure, especially if you're first starting up. But yeah, I don't know. I think that if you believe in your spouse, being supportive is important. So patience would be my advice.
Yeah. It's so, because I watched the dynamic, right? And I know it's a little windy there, guys, but this is awesome. Thank you for showing. I'm sure Anthony, is your leg numb yet?
No,
I'm not on his leg.
We have a nice bench.
There's a bench.
Yeah, we have a nice bench.
I'm like, maybe if we extend this freestyle jam, maybe we'll numb his leg out.
Yeah, I won't be able to walk.
That's great. So, I have this thing with my wife, and I'm so fortunate because I work a lot. And, a lot of the time it's like, she says, Judd, you work a lot. Don't you work a lot so that you can have other people that you can teach and train to do what it is that you do so that you can have more freedom and free time? And I'm like, I love what I do so much that it's so hard to replace me. I love it so much. It's like, I'm so passionate, right? And you can see the smile on Anthony's face right now. And it's, so she, you know what Mindy says to me? She says, go baby, go. Like, go baby, go. Anthony, you probably heard that at the spring training when I said that, right? Like, it was just like, she says, go baby, go. And to have that support from your spouse makes me want to go baby, go even more, right? It's like, because I know there are some spouses out there that, you know, well, you're coming home too late and and I get it, they're coming home too late. Now, if they're really coming home too late because of the right reasons, if they're going out to the bars and doing stuff that's toxic and is going to destroy a family, very different story. But if they're coming home late because they've been out doing a 40 or 50,000 square foot parking lot and really loving what it is that they're doing and passionate about it and building their business and everything, I would suggest that somebody watching this that might be going through that challenge right now is to sit down and have a really, really good conversation about coming up with a compromise that works really.
So I would piggyback off of that and say communication is so very important, because although I'm still 100% in the business, I'm not doing anything else. I'm also a mom. I also am running our house, and I'm also, our kids are homeschooled. So I have that on my plate as well. So communication, right? When he comes home from a long day and he sees little snippets, he doesn't work, or in the off season, how crazy a day can get and how much I do in a day. So I think that there's like an even, understanding, right?
It's a level of respect.
Yeah, respect and communication for sure communication is definitely super important. And yeah, communicating about, I guess what the expectations are, or what your, I don't know how to say what I'm saying, I guess.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. The expectations that are set, that because you have to start with some foundation going into this stuff, right? Like, you're going to have unexpected things happen throughout the day, like, oh, a last minute 2,000 square foot driveway and we have our lights from our truck shining on the driveway. We've all been there, right? And for anybody starting in a business, you will end up there. It's just kind of those late nights, and then you'll probably go back and do a touch up. But anyway, the bottom line is that you have to have a conversation to set the foundation that you can work from. The challenge with relationships, I find a lot of the time, is that with spouses, you lose the communication over time, because you end up communicating as a business owner, you end up communicating with your staff so much more than you actually do with your spouse, that the attention to the spouse is kind of, it fades. And it's because of how intense an entrepreneur is, somebody who's building a business, how intensely focused, and it's like the blinders are on, and it's like that, I've got to solve that problem, and all the energy goes right into that nonstop. And then, of course, children and the spouse end up getting neglected in that circumstance. And I've been there. And so what I urge everybody to do is that those things are bound to happen, but the faster you can communicate and catch it, the better it is going to be for you, so that your spouse, wife, or husband says, go baby, go. And you can actually say that with the utmost conviction again, right? Like, that is the best. So I just wanted to drop that, because I know it's hard in small business. It can be challenging. So,
you know, can I add something about like the dynamic between a husband and wife team? It is offset because you end up communicating with your spouse as your coworker more than you're communicating with your spouse as your partner. And one thing that we've done hit or miss a little off and on over the last few years is really trying to respect like date night or having those moments where I just grab her and I hold her and I kiss her as my wife. Those moments are very refueling, and they can re-energize you as your business relationship and your coworker scenario. So I think that like Keith Calloway Sr. was talking about it on the round table, where Tuesday nights were always Tuesday nights, And sometimes it was dinner and a movie, and sometimes it was a 10-minute car ride. But having those moments on Tuesday night to just have some individual time for your wife is important. And even if you can't make the time, acknowledging that you're not making the time and that you are losing ground in that area is enough to put it on a recourse. So I also think that as much as we said that for the entrepreneur themselves, there is also support out there that exists more now than ever for the spouse or the person that decides that they're going to run the office. Hopefully we find some ladies that are out there that are like, I'm going to go stripe and seal coat everything myself, and you can answer the phone. Like, when you're out there too, ladies, like, come get us. Like, we want to talk to you too. We want to put you center stage and talk to you like right now, you know, like
Yeah.
we want to highlight you and build you up. So for any of the dynamics that exist out there, no matter what the relationship is, partnerships or solopreneurs or anything, like the level of support that exists today is setting you up for so much success that, like,
yeah,
let's talk and let's go, like, go baby, go together.
I love that, man. And I love that call out too. That was just awesome. Seriously, right? Any ladies out there, reach out. We'd love to get you rocking and help whatever we can do to help. That's really whether you want to do back office or whether you want to get straight into it and get into crack sealing and seal coating and striping. We're all here for you. Guys, this is absolutely awesome. I feel like this conversation is so needed in our industry because a lot of the time it's just, you know, it is just a one-on-one interview, and it's generally the people that are out there grinding, and this is different because this is team, and this is really this is reality, right? Like, and this is special stuff to be able to share. So just to cap off what we were saying before, a lot of people spend time nurturing their customers and their staff, and they spend time doing that. Just to cap this off, do the same thing, but multiply it by 10 for your spouse and your children, like even more. Because when you have a household that's happy, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just going to say it could be the smallest gesture too, because there's not always time in the season, right? But every morning, this man hugs me, and it's like the littlest thing. Like, if he doesn't hug me in the morning, my morning doesn't start the same. It doesn't, like, my day doesn't feel like it gets going the same. So it's just a little thing. Like, take just a moment and, like, just hug your spouse. Men, hug your spouse in the morning and start the day like that. So,
man, I love that. So, you know, 5 love languages: acts of service, gifts, physical touch, quality time, words of affirmation. And everybody is different, but communicate about those 5 love languages with your spouse and understand what really makes them happy and what they feel appreciated and safe and loved and all of that, right? Don't forget about that, guys. We work so hard on Google AdWords and Facebook and hiring and core values and culture and sales training and marketing and all this stuff. Let's also focus on what's really important, which is the people that's most important to us, so that we can be a better version of ourselves, so that we can go and be better for our businesses as well. Guys, this is awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time out of this. I would like to taking the time out for this, but I would like to ask a question to both of you. If you had one wish for this industry that we're in, I'm interested in Stephanie's and then I'm interested in yours, Anthony, but if you had one wish for this industry, genuinely, what would that one wish be? Anything that you want for the industry.
Do you want to go first?
No, he wants you to go first.
He wants me to go first?
Yeah.
So I am, like, really huge on professionalism, and I feel like with different perspective and being in this group, I'm seeing that more. Locally, not so much. And so we are huge. That's, like, ingrained into our culture. Like, our guys have to keep their shirts on. You cannot smoke on a property that we're contracted to be on. Stuff like that, right? Like, from the initial phone call and the way that initial phone call is handled, we are providing a premium service from absolute start to absolute finish. And that's my wish for the industry, is that it would see some rise there, some boost there. to overall have the asphalt industry's reputation also rise.
This is awesome answer. I love that. What about you, Anthony?
So I definitely, I stand behind what Stephanie said about professionalism. That was definitely something that differentiated us. But I would love it if people in smaller companies would believe in themselves more and would invest in themselves just a little bit more. I think that it's easy, like you always say, that it's easy to feel alone. But if you put together the team of people, like you legit are who you surround yourself with. Like it's true. So if you're still hanging out with your buddy that has the same job since he got out of high school and he's only worried about how many 6-packs of beer he can afford, like that's what you're going to end up with long term, right? And that energy is transferring into you. If you put yourself around people that are really reaching for more and trying to bring out the best in you, then you will become more. Like that phrase that goes around, like who you are in 5 years, who you're hanging out around with today, is 100% true. So believing in yourself that you're worth more than what you've accepted as your daily average, and it's okay to feel uncomfortable, like take that step and make it normal to feel uncomfortable and watch how your life transitions. So, like it can be as simple as starting with a gratitude journal that you really fill out every day, right? Like do that and do it. And like,
I have that one.
And keep it real. Like, it can be a simple step like that. Like make that your new normal. Like Stephanie said, like she doesn't feel right without the hug. If I attempted, I don't do it, but if I attempted to start my day without my gratitude journal, I would feel like I was off track. And so that becomes my normal. My habits have changed because I'm on a mission of self-refinement and self-improvement. And if you can continue that trend, that was something that I was actually taught by a billionaire when I worked for his company before I started my own business, was the trend is not your friend. So if you have a trend in your life and it's going to the bar and waking up on Saturday mornings feeling hungover, like that trend is not your friend. If you start trending towards success, you find yourself in a situation where you take a step of faith, you make a little bit of money, and then you make that your new trend. Like that, the positives are going to take you to success. Like that's what leads you there, not the negative trends that you're seeing around yourself. And when you identify them as negative, you have to admit to yourself that they are destructive and that they're taking you away from your path. So believe in yourself with just for a second. Believe in yourself. Take a step out. Do something that makes a new normal in your life so much that you can't live without it, and then add something else, and you'll walk yourself to greatness.
One thing at a time.
It's kind of law of attraction, right? That's what it is. So I couldn't agree more with both of you relating to the industry. I think that the industry is transforming. It's happening before our eyes, but it's taken a lot of, and so, when you look at your hands going out there in the field and laying asphalt and crack sealing and striping and pushing a broom and everything else, you get calluses. And I can tell you that I'm super proud of what we're doing as it relates to the calluses in our hands in shaping this industry to become a better place, more attractive spot for hires, more attractive to facility managers, property owners. We're going to get more customers. We're going to get more value out of what it is that we're doing. We're going to end up with more money because pricing will adjust and change, and we'll start to get more money for our industry that we deserve. And we will continue to shape and mold this thing. And for people watching right now, welcome to Asphalt Kingdom, and welcome to Anthony's Asphalt, and welcome to Stephanie and Anthony and Judd. Like, we are here as lighthouses for you guys so that we can help shape and build a better future for you. So don't feel lost. Know that we're here for you, and you can reach out, comment, link up with us on any social media platforms. And you guys can be found on Facebook and Instagram, Anthony's Asphalt.
Yep.
Yeah, check out our YouTube channel. There's a ton of useful information on there. We've got wonderful content that's coming out. And for anybody that's interested, the AK coaching and mentorship program is fully in development. There's nuances added to it weekly. So if you're willing to take that step for yourself and invest in yourself, the support is there more now than ever. I may have put the cart before the horse, because Judd maybe had something to say on that, but I
You kicked it off.
I wholeheartedly know that program will change your life and your business, because in my mentorship program, I'm just as much interested in teaching you the successes I've had in business as I am teaching you the successes I've had in my personal life. So if you're willing to grow on that duality, find me.
That would have
Yes.
changed the trajectory of our business and of our lives had that been available to us back when we started. 'Cause I knew nothing. I was learning from him. I knew nothing. So as a woman in the industry, now I feel like I can totally talk with our clients on a whole different level instead of referring everything to him. Just over the years of gaining all of the knowledge, but just having a mentor and a coach and a team and a group would have been totally different. So
And now it's available at the fingertips.
yeah.
I was going to introduce the coaching program while we were on here, and I'll just say this: if you are looking for the framework, the guidance, the sensitivity, the unity, if you're looking at having all those words and more tied into your life, join us, and we'll be right there with you, and we will continue to power forward. Anthony, I couldn't think of a better coach to add to our team, man. You're just an incredible human. You've got the experience, the culture, the energy, the core values, what you stand for, what you've done with your family. I mean, dude, I am just so grateful to have the relationship. And I can't wait to so many more years ahead, because we still got the next half of our life to be able to rock this thing. So I'm excited.
100%. The thing I'll say about the coaching and mentorship program is I'm fascinated to be a part of it. I'm honored, all of those things. I knew this from probably my second day at the AK Spring Pro Training. That is available. Like, there's more. Come to them. I would be in a different part of my career, but I would also have different belongings. I would live in a different house. Like, there's so many different things that would have been available to me sooner if I would have been involved in this program and had these resources available in my career earlier. So I don't say it lightly. Like, it will legitimately change you from the inside out, and it will change the outside things around you by having a higher level of success in your life at a quicker trajectory than you could possibly get to alone. Welcome to your Asphalt Kingdom. Like, that's the new phrase, right? Like, I run with it on all my socials and everything. Well, it's your Asphalt Kingdom because you can make it what you want it to be, and it will only become what it can become for you with your involvement and you selecting to begin. So once you begin, you'll have the trust and the knowledge that your reinforcement is there that you've made the right decision, but you've got to make the decision to step out of the woods and be a part of the kingdom.
And that's exactly what I wanted to wrap on this, Anthony, because this is such an important thing. You cannot help somebody that does not want to be helped. But if you're willing to put in the work and take that very first step, just one step, like click that link to the AK Roundtable down here below in that description, click that link and you'll go to the AK Roundtable. Hop on for one meeting and just listen to that one meeting and then make a decision if you're going to attend the next one. Baby steps, slow down to speed up. We want you a part of the community. We desire to be able to help you. Guys, Anthony, Stephanie, thank you so much for all your time here this evening. Really, really appreciate it. Can't wait to see what the future has in store, but I already know most of it is that you guys are going to have nothing but great success ahead. Can't wait for you guys to get down here and come visit, and can't wait to be on this journey with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Asphalt Kingdom, and thank you, Judd. You owe it to yourself to be on the round table. So if you're still watching this video, you owe it to yourself to show up and be there.
The energy on those calls is infectious every single time. So
Yeah,
for sure.
Guys, much love. Go crush it. Thank you for driving into town and doing this. And let's see the truck in the background. There we go.
Did you see
Anthony's
see the parking
Asphalt.
lot? The guys
You
just sealed that parking lot today.
They just did it today, right?
Yeah. I don't know if it came through well.
It did. I could see it. Guys, thank you so much. And for all of you watching, please feel free to click subscribe and comment below. We're always here for you. And click those links and we'll make sure to get you connected with the right resources to help you build a better and brighter future. Thanks, guys.
If you liked this video, go ahead and check out this video or check out this video. And don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe right here below.